there comes a moment in life when your energy changes. Your mindset becomes stronger, your focus sharper, and your confidence unstoppable. Suddenly, people react differently to you. Some admire you, some fear you, some distance themselves because your growth reminds them of everything they refuse to become. The truth is simple. When you become powerful mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, not everyone can handle your presence. This motivational speech will help you understand why your strength intimidates others and how to keep rising no matter what. Here are 6 powerful key points that explain why they feel your power and why they can't handle you. Confident people naturally make insecure people uncomfortable because confidence carries a kind of silent authority that cannot be ignored. When you truly believe in yourself, you stop looking around for permission to exist, and that energy changes everything. People notice it in the way you walk, the way you speak, and the way you handle pressure. You no longer second-guess every decision or shrink yourself to fit into places where you have outgrown the environment. That level of self-belief is rare, and because it is rare, it often intimidates those who still struggle with doubt inside themselves. Many people are comfortable around weakness because weakness makes them feel safe. They prefer individuals who constantly seek approval, apologize for their opinions, and depend on validation to feel worthy. But when someone enters the room with calm confidence and emotional stability, it disrupts that comfort zone. Your confidence becomes a reminder of what they have not yet developed within themselves. Without saying a single word, your presence exposes insecurities they try hard to hide. This is why some people criticize confident individuals. They mistake confidence for arrogance because they do not understand the difference. Arrogance is loud and desperate for attention, but real confidence is quiet, grounded, and self-aware. A truly confident person does not need to prove superiority to anyone. They simply know their value and refuse to settle for less than they deserve. That mindset threatens people who are used to controlling others through fear, guilt, or doubt. Confidence also changes the way you handle failure. Instead of collapsing after mistakes, you learn from them and keep moving forward. And Cure people often avoid risks because they fear judgment, but confidence gives you the courage to try again even after disappointment. That resilience becomes powerful because most people quit the moment life becomes uncomfortable. When others see you continue despite criticism, rejection, or setbacks, they begin to realize that your strength comes from within, not from external approval. The strongest form of confidence is the ability to remain authentic in a world that constantly pressures people to conform. When you stop pretending to fit expectations and start embracing who you truly are, your energy becomes magnetic. Some people will admire that authenticity, while others will resent it because they are still hiding behind masks to gain acceptance. Your confidence reminds them that freedom begins the moment a person stops fearing other people's opinions and starts trusting their own voice. Discipline is one of the rarest qualities in the modern world because most people rely on motivation while powerful individuals rely on commitment. Motivation comes and goes depending on emotions, comfort, and circumstances, but discipline continues even when the excitement disappears. That is why disciplined people achieve results that average people only talk about. They understand that success is not built in one dramatic moment. It is created through small actions repeated consistently over time. While others search for shortcuts, disciplined individuals focus on habits. They wake up early when they would rather sleep. They continue working when distractions become tempting. They stay focused on their goals even when progress feels slow. This level of consistency separates leaders from followers because discipline trains the mind to obey purpose instead of emotion. Most people quit when things become difficult, but disciplined people keep moving because they understand that temporary discomfort often leads to long-term rewards. People who lack discipline often feel uncomfortable around those who possess it. Your consistency reminds them of the excuses they continue to make. Every time they see you staying focused, improving yourself, and pushing beyond limits, they are forced to confront their own lack of commitment. Instead of using that feeling as motivation, many choose to criticize, doubt, or downplay your efforts because it is easier than changing themselves. Ease. Discipline also builds confidence because every promise you keep to yourself strengthens your self-respect. When you consistently follow through on your goals, your mind begins to trust you. You stop depending on external validation because your results speak for themselves. That inner trust becomes powerful because it creates emotional stability. You no longer panic during challenges because discipline has already trained you to remain steady under pressure. One of the most dangerous things about discipline is that it compounds over time. A single day of effort may not look impressive, but months and years of consistent action create extraordinary transformation. Most people underestimate this because they are obsessed with immediate results. They want success without patience, growth without sacrifice, and achievement without struggle. Disciplined people understand that greatness is earned slowly, one decision at a time. Discipline also protects you from chaos. It keeps you grounded when life becomes uncertain. Instead of reacting emotionally to every obstacle, disciplined individuals continue executing their routines and responsibilities. That stability creates strength because it prevents temporary emotions from destroying long-term goals. People who cannot control themselves often feel intimidated by those who can. There is power in becoming someone who does what needs to be done regardless of mood, fear, or circumstances. Discipline transforms ordinary individuals into unstoppable forces because it removes dependence on excuses. When your actions become stronger than your emotions, very few people can compete with your level of focus, endurance, and determination. One of the biggest reasons powerful people make others uncomfortable is because they cannot be controlled. The moment you stop allowing fear, manipulation, and outside opinions to dictate your life, your entire energy changes. You begin thinking for yourself, making your own decisions, and protecting your peace without guilt. That kind of independence is rare, and many people struggle to handle it because control is often how they maintain power over others. Most people are conditioned to seek approval before taking action. They constantly worry about being accepted, liked, or validated. But when you break free from that mindset, you become unpredictable to those who are used to control. Rolling people through pressure and expectations. You no longer say yes just to avoid conflict. You no longer tolerate disrespect simply to keep others comfortable. You become firm with your boundaries, clear with your values, and fearless about walking away from situations that drain your energy. That strength can intimidate people because they realize they can no longer manipulate your emotions. Toxic individuals depend on guilt, fear, or emotional dependency to maintain influence. They become uncomfortable when they meet someone who refuses to be emotionally controlled. Your calmness frustrates them. Your independence confuses them. Your ability to walk away threatens them because they lose access to the control they once had. Powerful energy also comes from emotional self-control. When you stop reacting to every insult, every criticism, and every negative opinion, you develop a level of inner peace that most people never reach. Weak minds react instantly because they are ruled by emotion. Strong minds pause, observe, and respond wisely. That emotional discipline creates an aura of strength that people can feel even without words. People often expect you to shrink yourself to fit their comfort zone. They want you to stay quiet, stay uncertain, and stay dependent because it makes them feel secure. But once you begin trusting yourself fully, your presence naturally becomes stronger. You stop chasing acceptance and start focusing on alignment with your purpose. That shift changes the way people respond to you because confidence without dependency is difficult to control. Freedom is powerful because it allows you to live authentically. You stop pretending to be someone else just to gain approval. You stop sacrificing your peace to maintain fake relationships. You begin valuing your time, your energy, and your mental health more than temporary validation. Many people cannot handle that transformation because it forces them to realize how much of their own lives are controlled by fear and insecurity. The strongest people are not the loudest people. They are the individuals who remain grounded even when pressure surrounds them. They understand their worth, trust their instincts, and refuse to compromise their values for acceptance. Once you reach that level of self-respect, your energy becomes impossible to dominate. People feel it immediately, and that is why some admire you while others fear your presence. Growth has a powerful way of changing not only your life, but also the way people respond to you. The moment you begin improving mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or financially, you start making others uncomfortable without even trying. Your progress becomes a mirror that reflects what they could become if they were willing to evolve. Some people feel inspired by that reflection, but others feel threatened because your transformation forces them to confront the reality of their own stagnation. Many people say they want success, peace, confidence, and discipline, but very few are willing to endure the discomfort required to achieve those things. Real growth demands sacrifice. It requires letting go of excuses, breaking toxic habits, facing painful truths, and stepping outside familiar environments. Most people avoid that process because comfort feels safer than change. But when they see you embracing growth despite the struggle, it reminds them of the risks they were too afraid to take. As you grow, your mindset begins to shift. Conversations that once entertained you no longer interest you. Negative environments begin to drain and your energy. You stop settling for relationships that lack respect, honesty, and support. That transformation often confuses people who are used to the older version of you. They become uncomfortable because they can no longer access the same insecurities, weaknesses, or patterns they once recognized. Growth changes your standards, and higher standards naturally create distance between you and people who refuse to evolve. Some individuals will secretly resent your success because your discipline exposes their laziness, your courage exposes their fear, and your ambition exposes their excuses. Instead of improving themselves, they may criticize your changes or accuse you of becoming different. In reality, you are becoming more aligned with your true potential, while they remain attached to the comfort of who they have always been. Growth also requires loneliness at times. Not everyone can go where you are going. Some people are connected to the version of you that doubted yourself, tolerated less, and stayed small to make others comfortable. When you begin operating with confidence and purpose, certain relationships naturally fade because they were built on limitation rather than growth. This can feel painful, but it is often necessary for transformation. The powerful thing about growth is that it expands your vision. You begin realizing how much more life has to offer beyond fear and limitation. Your goals become bigger, your thinking becomes sharper, and your belief in yourself becomes stronger. While others remain trapped in old patterns, you continue moving forward because you understand that growth is not a destination, but a lifelong process. People can feel when someone is evolving beyond average thinking. They notice the discipline, the maturity, and the emotional strength that comes from constant self-improvement. Some will admire it, while others will resist it because your evolution silently challenges them to rise higher in their own lives. Silence becomes powerful when a person no longer feels the need to constantly explain, defend, or prove themselves to the world. Most people believe strength is found in loud reactions, endless arguments, and emotional outbursts. But true power often reveals itself through calmness and self-control. The ability to remain composed in situations designed to provoke you is a level of mastery that very few people possess. Weak minds react instantly to everything. They allow anger, frustration, and ego to control their decisions. Powerful individuals understand that every reaction gives away energy. Instead of wasting time trying to win every argument or respond to every opinion, they choose peace over unnecessary conflict. That silence confuses people because they expect emotional chaos, not emotional discipline. There is something intimidating about a person who stays calm under pressure. When others attempt to provoke you and fail to get a reaction, they begin to realize they no longer have control over your emotions. Your silence becomes a sign of inner strength because it shows that your peace is stronger than their negativity. People who depend on drama often feel uncomfortable around emotionally balanced individuals because they cannot manipulate them easily. Silence also reflects confidence. When you truly know your worth, you stop feeling the need to convince everyone to understand you. Insecure people constantly seek validation because they rely on outside approval to feel important. Confident people move differently. They let their actions, discipline, and results speak loud, even than words. They understand that not every misunderstanding deserves a response, and not every opinion deserves attention. As people grow mentally and emotionally, they begin protecting their energy more carefully. They stop engaging in pointless conversations that lead nowhere. They stop arguing with people committed to misunderstanding them. They stop chasing acceptance from individuals who already decided not to see their value. That emotional maturity creates a quiet form of power that people can feel immediately. Silence also sharpens awareness. When you spend less time reacting and more time observing, you begin noticing people's true intentions more clearly. You recognize manipulation faster. You notice dishonesty quicker. You become more strategic with your words and decisions, because silence teaches patience and patience creates wisdom. While others are busy exposing every emotion publicly, powerful individuals remain focused, observant, and emotionally centered. Many people fear silence because silence forces them to face themselves. Noise becomes a distraction from insecurity, fear, and inner emptiness. But individuals who are comfortable in silence usually possess strong self-awareness and emotional control. They do not need constant attention to feel valuable because their confidence comes from within. The strongest presence in a room is often the person who speaks the least but carries undeniable energy. Their calmness commands respect. Their self-control creates mystery. Their silence communicates strength without effort. People can sense when someone has reached a level of emotional discipline where outside negativity no longer controls their mind. And that kind of inner power is difficult for most people to handle. The most unstoppable people in the world are those who have discovered their purpose. When a person knows exactly who they are, what they stand for, and what they are working toward, they are ready to take on the challenge. They develop a level of focus that distractions cannot easily break. Purpose gives life direction, and direction creates power. Without purpose, people drift through life reacting to circumstances, but with purpose, every challenge becomes part of a greater mission. Most people lose motivation because they are chasing temporary feelings instead of meaningful goals. They start strong but quit the moment life becomes difficult because they lack a deeper reason to continue. Purpose changes that completely. It gives you the strength to keep moving even during pain, rejection, failure, and uncertainty. When your vision becomes bigger than your excuses, your mindset transforms. You stop asking whether something is easy and start asking whether it is necessary for your growth. People can feel the energy of someone who is driven by purpose. There is intensity in the way they move, think, and operate. They waste less time on meaningless distractions because they understand that every day matters. While others spend years doubting themselves, purpose-driven individuals stay focused on building their future. That level of determination intimidates people who have become comfortable living without direction. Purpose also creates resilience. Life will test everyone, but people with purpose recover differently. They may get hurt, disappointed, or exhausted, but they do not stay down for long because they know their mission is greater than temporary setbacks. Every obstacle becomes a lesson instead of a reason to quit. This mindset creates emotional toughness because purpose gives suffering meaning. When pain has meaning, endurance becomes possible. A person with purpose also becomes harder to manipulate. They are less likely to follow the crowd because they are guided by vision instead of social pressure. They do not constantly seek approval because their focus is on fulfilling their mission, not pleasing everyone around them. This independence often makes others uncomfortable because society is filled with people who are easily distracted, easily influenced, and easily controlled. Purpose-driven individuals think differently. They move with intention, not confusion. As purpose grows stronger, fear begins losing power. Fear still exists, but it no longer controls decisions. You become willing to take risks, face criticism, and step into uncomfortable situations because you understand that growth requires courage. Many people remain trapped in average lives because fear keeps them frozen. Purpose gives you the strength to move forward despite fear, and that courage separates extraordinary people from ordinary ones. People who lack direction often struggle to understand someone who wakes up every day with focus and determination. They may call you obsessed, too intense, or unrealistic because your ambition art reminds them of dreams they abandoned long ago. But purpose-driven people do not stop because others fail to understand them. They continue building, learning, improving, and evolving because they know they were created for something greater than mediocrity. When purpose takes control of your life, your energy changes completely. You stop chasing meaningless validation and start chasing impact. You stop settling for comfort and start pursuing greatness. Your discipline becomes stronger, your mindset sharper, and your resilience deeper because every action is connected to a larger vision. That kind of focus becomes powerful, and people can feel it the moment you enter a room. If people cannot handle you, do not lower your standards to fit their comfort zone. Your strength was not meant to be hidden. Your voice was not meant to be silenced. Your potential was not meant to stay small. Some people will misunderstand your power because they have never witnessed someone truly disciplined, focused, and fearless. Let them talk. Keep growing, keep building, keep rising. Because when you become powerful enough to change your life, the world feels your presence and not everyone will be ready for it. But that is exactly what greatness looks like.